The small town of Ravenswood was never the same after the night the stranger arrived. It was a typical autumn evening, the leaves rustling in the gentle breeze, the sky painted with hues of orange and pink. But amidst the tranquility, a sense of unease settled over the residents. The stranger wore a long, dark coat that billowed behind him like a dark cloud. His face was pale, his eyes sunken, and his presence seemed to draw the light out of the air. He walked into town with a purposeful stride, his eyes scanning the streets as if searching for something or someone. The locals watched him with a mixture of curiosity and suspicion. Strangers were rare in Ravenswood, and this one seemed particularly off. Some said he was a traveling salesman, while others whispered that he was a fugitive on the run. As the stranger walked down Main Street, the shopkeepers and townsfolk couldn't help but notice the eerie feeling that followed him. The wind seemed to pick up, the trees creaked, and the shadows deepened. It was as if the very presence of the stranger was warping the fabric of reality. The stranger stopped in front of the local inn, a quaint establishment run by the kindly Mrs. Jenkins. She looked up from her knitting, her eyes narrowing as she took in the stranger's appearance. "Can I help you, sir?" she asked, her voice firm but polite. The stranger's eyes locked onto hers, and Mrs. Jenkins felt a shiver run down her spine. "I'll be staying for a while," he said, his voice low and gravelly. "I need a room with a view of the woods." Mrs. Jenkins hesitated, unsure of what to make of the stranger's request, but something in his eyes seemed to draw her in, and she found herself nodding. "Room 314, she said, handing him the key. "Breakfast is at 7 a.m. The stranger nodded, his eyes never leaving hers. "Thank you," he said, his voice dripping with an unspoken menace. As the stranger disappeared into the inn, the townsfolk couldn't help but wonder what had brought him to Ravenswood. Some said he was a dark sorcerer, seeking to unleash some ancient evil upon the town. Others claimed he was a ghost, come to haunt the living. But one thing was certain: the stranger's presence